Everyone, I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. I have a little bit of laryngitis, so just turn the volume up on the TV. No, don't do that, because the guests have regular voices, but I'm going to get to them in just a second. Coming up later, our roundtable has great voices. They'll be here giving all sorts of opinions. That's at the end of the program. Between now and then, some great guest information coming your way. We'll talk about veteran services for veterans and their families, courtesy of the good folks at Goodwill. We'll meet some outstanding students from Winston-Salem State University who are doing great things with financial investments. All that and much more coming up. But first, we turn our attention to the problem of childhood obesity. And we have three special guests that are concerned about this issue, and they're doing something about it. Next to me, on my immediate right, of course, our good friend David Daggett. He's attorney with Daggett Schuler Law. Next to him, David and Griff brought a special guest. Aaron Craver is executive director of the Kernersville YMCA. And then, of course, Griff Schuler, attorney with Daggett Schuler. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm going to start with David, but there's a special event that I want to get Aaron to tell us about in just a minute that's going to have something to do with awareness for childhood obesity. But before we do that, David, give me just a thumbnail sketch of how bad this problem is.
Well, childhood obesity is really one of the biggest epidemics that our society is facing right now. Statistics, although they vary where you look at them, show that childhood obesity has quadrupled over the past 30 years. Quadrupled. Estimates of 18 to 20% of kids under 19 are obese, 30% are overweight. Statistically, if you're obese and overweight as a kid, there's even greater chance of being obese as an adult.
Really, yes.
Heart disease, diabetes, even cancer.
I want to talk
whole array of problems.
Yeah, and Griff, as bad as that is, and in your position and the kind of things that you and David do day in and day out, what does this mean to you in terms of prevention and addressing this problem? In terms of, David said diabetes, but there's also risk of injury and stuff too?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if folks are obese, you have that type of issue. You also have some mental type issues that are kind of scary that are going on. Kids today are more likely to be bullied when they're obese, and then also kids have an increase in depression when they're more obese, and that's a toll on the whole society and community.
Man, there's all sorts of ways to be injured from that residually. All right, Aaron, let me turn to you. Sure. I know the YMCA is big on fitness. Very quickly, what kind of things can you do to help keep kids fit these days?
Well, there's cardiovascular programs that we have. In our after-school programs, we do very fun games. So it's almost like a Jedi mind trick that you're getting kids to play, but actively, so that they're staying active and keeping fit.
Right. Now let's talk about a big event that's coming up, the Mistletoe Run. Tell me about that.
Sure. So this year's going to be the 34th anniversary of the Mistletoe Run. And so what it is a fun run, which is just a 1 miler. A 5K and a half marathon. So really it's geared for any age, any ability. In fact, we're going to have a hand cyclist this year participate with us as well.
A hand cyclist?
Yes, sir.
What is that? I'm afraid to ask. What is that? Somebody that actually just...
So she has cerebral palsy.
Oh, isn't that something? That's great. And that she can do this, and people just have great skills that they display at these things. But you said there's just a 5K, is that what you said that's going
correct.
on? Now, is there a fee to get in to participate in this or what?
Sure. So every race registration fee goes towards fighting childhood obesity through the Y program. So 100% of the race proceeds go towards programming to help
And you have a special sponsor this year too, right?
Yeah, we do. Bell Davis & Pitt is our presenting sponsor.
Good folks. David, before time runs out, why should folks turn out for this event?
Well, Aaron was a little bit modest. This is one of the biggest events in the area all year. Last year, over 3,000 participants in the races. Great coming together because of the sponsorship. Bell Davis & Pitt, those folks are good friends of ours, and other sponsors. 100% of the proceeds goes toward programs to fight childhood obesity. Last year, that was over $70,000. Am I right?
That's correct.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's a great event. Community comes together. The holidays, really a special day.
Griff, to wrap up things, can we win this war on childhood obesity?
Absolutely, Jim. The communities that are doing things like this that are more preventative, that are encouraging kids in a healthy lifestyle, statistics are starting to show that it really works. And in particular, the two key things is making sure that nutrition is better, and also making sure that they're more active.
Up on screen, daggettschulerlaw.com. I want to make sure we got that in because it has some information about that. Yes, sir.
And lastly, I'll be announcing at the finish line and giving each and every finisher a championship reception.
Wow, that's pretty good. Do you pay him extra for that, Aaron?
I pay him in hugs and smiles.
Hugs and smiles.
It's a bonus.
Great. Yeah, yes. Well, Dave, I don't want David hugging and smiling at me, but anyway, all right, get out there. It's a big event. It's a big event. Do that. All right, we'll be right back after this. Today, I've been doing this kind of thing for 47 years. I don't usually get intimidated, but these three folks, I tell you what, they sort of intimidate me with their knowledge, and you're going to meet them right now and find out why. Next to me, my immediate right, Trayron Edwards is president of the RAM Asset Management. I want to say group. You kind of can say group because you're a group. There at Winston-Salem State University. He's also a senior and an intern, I believe, as well. Next to him is Alexis Lassiter. She's a junior economics major at Winston-Salem State University, also involved in this financial management group. And then, of course, Xavier Thomas, a senior finance major as well at the university. Welcome, gang. Thanks to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Trayron, I'm going to start with you. What is RAM Asset Management?
Sure. So the short answer to that is RAM Asset Management is a student-managed investment fund. So we currently manage roughly $130,000 for the university.
Now let me back up and get this straight because I was never good with numbers. This isn't like a fun club where you come in and have lunch or something. You guys are actually investing money.
Correct. Yes, sir.
To help the university. Now, Xavier, I'm going to come to Alexis eventually, but Xavier, what kinds of investments do you recommend? It's for the endowment fund, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
What do you recommend, for example?
So investments that are not too conservative, but investments that are also not too risky. So we invest into different companies that are in the S&P 500. So that's the
right. Now, Alexis, what does the endowment fund do? What's the purpose of the endowment fund? Why is it so important that you guys are helping to grow it?
Well, long term, we are trying to provide scholarships for students who are interested in finance majors, investing, and things like that. But short term, we're really just teaching and growing and grooming students who are interested in investing their own money in their own dollars without the risk of losing their own money.
Okay, so this is students bringing money that they want you to invest that goes into the endowment fund.
So the endowment fund, we were given this money like maybe 4 or 5 years ago from several different donors, and what we do is we grow that money.
I got
so it's money that was given to us, and what we do is add on to
All
it.
right, now besides the three of you, is there anybody else involved in doing this with you?
Yes, we currently have maybe around 10 members, I would say.
So how, if I show up, or if my nephew or somebody or niece wants to go there and they say, hey, I heard about this on TV, do they just say, hey, I want to be in it, or do you guys have to sort of screen people? What do you do?
We have a pretty open door policy, so you can be finance major, you can be marketing. We take everyone in and we see where you are. We really teach the core concepts of investing to anyone who's interested.
Xavier, you think this has paid off for the endowment fund and for the university by way of that? Has it paid off, going pretty good?
Of course, because you can use this for your own investments in the future. So it's kind of practicing before you actually get into the real world and start investing your own money.
It's got to give you a leg up on, and Alexis and I were talking before the program about giving you a leg up on job interviews, and for anybody that understands what this means, and I hardly do, but they're educating me, that's a real leg up because you can move into the workforce a lot easier, which brings me to the last thing I want to ask each of you. What do you want to do career-wise? Because you're a senior, she's a junior, Xavier's a senior. What do you want to do?
So pretty much for me, the ultimate goal is to continue to work in the asset management space, either as an analyst or a portfolio manager.
Okay. And I know you're from Maryland. You want to go back there, or you want to stay around here?
I'm looking at areas like New York, really the major cities.
Well, we hope you stay around here.
Okay.
All right, what do you want to do?
Well, as you know, I'm the only economics major at the table.
Oh, wow.
And
she said that like it was a, man, she just dug into you. Sorry, so you want to do what?
So what I want to do, economics is just a foundation for me. I have marketing experience, I have IT experience, I have a little bit of sales experience. So I
can go
honestly,
any direction.
Yeah, I just want to do something where I'm in front of other individuals, influencing them, and
Xavier?
things like that.
So I want to be a financial planner and work for a firm where I can help my clients become financially secure.
So you can help me when you all graduate, right?
Yes, sir.
Somebody needs that. And you're an intern to Chancellor Robinson too, right?
Yes, very dangerous job. But
I'm looking to take that job from them.
Oh man! Up on screen, the website wssu.edu, and for our radio audience, I'll say it again: wssu.edu. And is there anything they can find out about this from the general website, or is there any other way to find out? Do you have a Facebook thing, or?
we do not, but we have our meetings every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So if anyone's interested, please stop by and join us.
All right, you can pay me to speak at it.
We'll work on that.
All right, thanks. Look, congratulations, seriously.
Thank you.
Keep me updated. I'm really proud of you. All right, we'll be right back after this on Triad Today, and we always like to salute, and I mean that in a lot of different ways, salute our veterans, the people that have done so much for our country. And there's a lady with me right now that does a lot for veterans, and I think that's important too. On my right, Sandy Jolly, our good friend who's been here before, Program Coordinator of Veteran Services for Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. I won't reach way across the table, but consider your hand shook.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Let's just remind people who haven't seen you on the show before maybe, or maybe haven't checked out the website or whatever, but what services does Goodwill offer to veterans and extending to that their families as well? Tell me about it.
Well, we do information sessions every Wednesday at 9 a.m. at our University Parkway location, and we help veterans and family members get jobs. We help them update their resumes, if they need some additional skills training, those kinds of things. Anything that will help them to get that next career.
Now, with this, when we talk about services for families, that can mean if I've just been deployed, maybe my wife would come in and you can help her too?
Absolutely, very much so. Anyone that lives in the household of the veteran, whether the veteran is there, like they're on deployment or whatever, we can help them.
That's neat. Okay, and I don't mean to pick at you. We didn't rehearse this, but I mean, how far does that extend? I mean, would it have to be somebody living in the household? So if it was,
Yes.
Okay.
So it can be a child or a parent.
Okay, good. Now, I want to list a couple things or mention a couple things that you emailed me about, and I think they're new programs for veterans, and get you to mention something very quickly. AMVETS Award.
Well, we actually received the national as well as the state AMVETS Award for Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina for the company I work for as being the veteran-friendly employer of the year.
Wow. And also there's something you emailed me about was a partnership with Forsyth County Veterans Treatment Court. What is it?
Yes, Forsyth County is the 4th county in the state to have a Veterans Treatment Court. We're actually partnering with them. We're on their treatment team, and we're partnering with them to provide a second chance employment and resource fair on the 29th of this month.
I want to ask you about that. Let's go over, there's a big event coming up on November 29th, another one on December 9th, so tell me about those two things.
Okay, November 29th is the Second Chance Employment and Resource Fair. It's for anyone in the community that might have some barriers, whether it's a criminal background or something that might need some help. In the morning from 9 to 11:30, we're going to do some workshops to help them really refine some of their skills, and then be prepared for in the afternoon when from 1 to 3 we'll have employers that are willing
coming in
to
to
come
talk
in
with them about, so, well, then we want everybody to look their best and maybe bring in the resumes and be prepared, because you go through the course and then you sort of sit down with the employers and do that. Now, you also said there was something coming up on December the 9th. Tell me about that.
I am so excited to partner with the Winston-Salem VA Regional Office to provide it's a Women Veteran Empowerment Symposium. It's an all-day event. We're having 3 keynote speakers come in and just doing a lot of different fun things to help women veterans feel confident, and it's on a Saturday so they can come in. And
I haven't heard of that existing too many places. That's kind of unique that you're doing that.
We're really trying to, because there's not a whole lot that's out there for women veterans right now, and so we want to make sure that all of their needs are getting met. So
yeah, and they can network and all that fun stuff.
Very much so.
All right, we want people to find out more about this. Now, I'm going to give you the website address, but then I'm going to do something else here. GoodwillNWNC.org for the radio audience as well. GoodwillNWNC.org. However, Sandy tells me that if you go to the Facebook page, and people can access that by, I'm not very tech oriented. What do they do? Type in just
go to the Goodwill of Northwest North Carolina on Facebook.
And then go to Facebook. Okay, and then they can find out about these events.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Sandy, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you so much, Jim.
All right, we'll be right back. Back now on Triad Today, and so glad to be able to have these folks with us today to talk about horticulture and other things. Next to me on my immediate right, a first-time guest of the show, Liz Riley is department head for horticulture technology at Alamance Community College by way of Boiling Springs near Shelby. I got that right, didn't I? Yes. And of course, our good friend who's been on the show before, Justin Snyder's Dean of Industrial Technology. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Liz, I'm going to start with you, if that's okay, and just, I know that you want to plug an event that's going to be coming up, but tell me about the horticulture program and the study at Alamance. Give me a little description of that.
Okay, sure. So our horticulture technology program department was developed in 1989, and it was developed out of a need from the green industry for nursery workers, greenhouse operators, landscape designers, landscape maintainers, and there's also some governmental agencies that also employ our graduates.
Wow, a whole wide range of study.
Yeah, it's a great department to be in. We are a very active department. We've competed in national, regional, and statewide competitions, and we do very well. So it's a very good representation of our college. We also do a garden at the state fair. We've won first place with our gardens for the past 7 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you've also had some pretty good success in the graduates getting placed in jobs fairly soon right after graduation. Or am I just dreaming that? I thought I read that.
Yes, sir. No, we do have really good placement with our graduates. I'm relatively new to the department. I've only been here for around 3.5 months.
Right.
So
well, you're only 14 anyway. So.
So I haven't seen any of our graduates move out, but I have spoken with some recent grads, and they're doing great in the industry and seem to be super happy.
Yeah, and you're nodding your head. Yeah, you
Yes.
agree with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Justin, there's something coming up, a competition or something that we wanted to plug that in the not too distant future. What's that about?
That's right. Over our spring break in March 13th through 17th, we're going to be hosting the National Association of Landscape Professionals National Collegiate Landscape Competition at ACC.
And how many schools will be participating, and how many students are coming on campus for that?
We expect to see anywhere from 65 to 70 schools from across the country, both two-year colleges and universities, and we hope to see about 1,200 students and industry members on campus for those 4 days.
Now, I don't mean to be rude, but there are a lot of colleges, fine colleges around the area, and yours, of course, is one of them. How did Alamance Community College get picked for this honor to host this thing?
So we've been competing in this event for the last 14 years, and the event travels all across the country. Last year we were at Brigham Young University in Utah with a group of students, and we've been relatively successful in these events, typically finishing in the top 10 overall. Last year we were the #2 community college in the nation. In the year before that we were the #1 placing community college in the nation.
To people that don't know a lot about horticulture, that maybe haven't looked up the website, they've looked at the Alamance Community College website, but maybe haven't gone to look at the horticulture. Why is this particular competition, such a big deal?
So this competition really gives our students an opportunity to show off their skills and compare it to other universities. Students coming to community college may not feel like they're getting the same education, I think, sometimes. So they come here, and this really proves that they are. They win events. We've had numerous students win events or national champions in different competitions. So it really takes home what Liz is teaching in the classes and proves to them that they can do it.
Yeah, and I sort of cut you off, Liz, a little bit before, and I didn't mean to, but is there anything else you want to share with us about the program in general and how things are going?
The program's going great. We have around 60 students in our program right now. So just yesterday we had students in our arboriculture class out in the trees learning how to climb and do tree care management. We have plant ID classes, so if you have an interest in horticulture, there's a place for you in our department, and registration gets started very soon.
For the spring 2018
Yes,
semester.
sir. Spring 2018. We are registering, if not now, very soon.
All right,
like
now
next
up on
week.
screen for everybody to see and for the radio audience to hear this www.alamancecc.edu, and I hope you'll check that out because this is the first time we've really addressed this issue of horticulture classes and courses of study there, and I just think it's really neat what you guys are doing. Congratulations on all that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, and as I might have mentioned earlier, if you just tuned in, I have a little case of laryngitis. So does Ogie, so we're kind of pitiful. We're going to leave most of the hard lifting, the heavy lifting, to Ursula and Keith. But anyway, on my right for the round table, but always political left, Ogie, over from that great broadcaster journalist. Next to him, the head honcho, the president, CEO of Dudley Beauty Products, Ursula Dudley Oglesby, and we have a shout out to her mom and dad. Hello, everybody. And Keith Granberry, who Keith, Ursula has these beauty products. Well, Keith doesn't need them.
That's exactly right. You are right
Keith,
about that.
Keith
Beauty
Granberry.
while I'm on.
He still
Yeah,
needs
feed my ego.
Keith,
still needs
yeah. Keith Granberry, and he's founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, let's get to a serious topic here. The Air Force admits it failed to inform the federal government about the Texas church shooter's history of violence, imprisonment, and then allowed him to buy guns. Very quickly, should families of the victims sue the Air Force? And if they do sue, would they prevail? Ogie.
I bet they already are. I bet there's going to be a class action suit, and I suspect they will win.
Ursula.
Yeah, I think that they probably will sue, and it'll probably be settled out of court.
You're an attorney, so you think they'll settle it en masse, or?
Yeah, they'll settle en masse. Yeah,
Keith.
for sure.
I think they'll sue, but I don't think they can win. Actually, I don't believe they'll win. I think there's so many other instances where people have not uncovered history. I just don't see how they can win that, especially with the Air Force.
The California NAACP, changing subjects, NAACP in California wants to remove the Star Spangled Banner as our national anthem because some of the lyrics, I think in the second stanza or third stanza, are pro-slavery, they say. Should we get rid of the Star Spangled Banner? And if we do, what should we replace it with? Ogie.
I'm not really a proponent of that. I like the Star Spangled. I could live with America the Beautiful, but I think that's a little bit of a bridge too far.
But it's not in the first stanza. Couldn't you just get rid of the rest of the words?
Well, I suppose you
Ursula,
could,
what's your take on this?
Yeah, get rid of the second stanza or the third stanza and just go with the first one. And I'm with you. I like America the Beautiful.
Okay, Keith.
Star Spangled Banner should stay. We all have, history is there's a lot of things that go along with history, but we have to look past that right now.
It's a pretty violent theme, though, when you think about it. It's all about war and all this stuff, and I don't know.
But it was built on war. America was built on war.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a French atheist who holds a green card wants America to remove the phrase "So help me God" from the U.S. citizenship oath. Good idea or bad idea, Ogie?
Well, it's going to be a non-idea because it's not going anywhere fast. It's dead on arrival.
All right, Ursula.
I agree, and that's not going to change. In God we trust.
And see, and that goes back to the first one. If we just start changing or look, there's something wrong with every sentence and everything that's going to offend somebody.
There's something wrong with all of us except for you.
That's exactly right. I'm perfect. That's right. I'm perfect.
A female.
In the show.
Yeah, a female bicyclist in Virginia was fired from her government job for giving President Trump the middle finger as his motorcade passed by. Actually, her employer is a government contractor who says that when it was posted, it violated their social media policy. Should the woman have been fired for giving Trump the middle finger? I turn to Ogie Overman, who has probably lifted that same digit toward the president at times.
I actually would have promoted that lady. I would probably put her in management.
Really? Yes. Now, Ursula, you have a lot of employees under you. What if that if Dudley Beauty Products had a contract with the government and one of your employees did that? What would happen?
They would not have been fired. They are entitled to free speech.
All right, Keith.
All right.
Well, did she post it? Or did somebody else post it?
Well, the government, the Secret Service people took it, and then I think she didn't. Ogie, didn't she share it or something with it?
She actually did.
Yeah, she shared
then,
it.
if she shared it, then she's liable because it is a government contract. It means the government can take the contract. So, are you going to lose your contract based on someone else's action?
So you're saying get rid of her rather than lose the whole contract?
I would.
Okay. Some North Carolina lawmakers are considering a constitutional amendment that would allow them to appoint judges rather than have voters elect them. Should our judges be elected by voters or appointed by politicians like they are in Virginia? Ogie.
Well, that's an age-old argument. I'm not really in favor of appointing all judges. Some are appointed, but we need to go ahead and elect it as long as it's nonpartisan.
Madam Attorney?
I agree. Let's elect them. I believe in the power and the right of the
All
people
of
to
them
vote.
up and down, no matter all the judges should be elected?
No, but most.
Most.
Most judges should be elected. I mean, like Judge Cabbage and all those. I mean, these are people who come up through the ranks and doing great work, and they got elected. And I think you should elect them. Keep them honest.
Keep them honest, yeah. An airline in Finland is now weighing passengers before they board the plane. See how much they weigh. You guys and gals okay with that, or is it an invasion of privacy, Ogie?
We've been invaded so much already. I mean, you have to take your belt off and take your shoes off. It's just another thing.
Is there anything you would not take off? Never mind.
Depends on who, depends on the TSA.
That is a no.
Ursula
That is definitely an invasion of privacy. No, you can ask me approximately how much I weigh if you need that information for the safety of others, but no.
Yeah, because they want to get a total poundage or something on the plate. Yeah, Keith.
That's discrimination. I mean, so if you're fat, what happens?
Yeah, don't
you
look
can't
at,
get on the plane.
Don't look at me when you're
No,
saying that.
I have to look at you, Jim. They told me to look at you with my earpiece, man.
Finally, you know that woman that got fired for the middle finger thing, Keith?
You getting ready to give me that? Okay.
All right, finally, a Philadelphia man has just been dumped by his girlfriend after he confessed that he voted for Trump. Guys and gals, have you ever ended a relationship of any kind because of politics, Ogie?
Yeah, I won't let a relationship get that far along. Somewhere early in the relationship, it's going to come up.
Ursula.
No, but maybe I've been dumped because of it. I'm not sure. We'll see.
You might have said something.
I might have. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you got to talk to them before you start dating them to see what their politics
Do you?
are. Yes, absolutely. You can't just
Yeah,
date someone and then all of a sudden, months down the road, say, "Oh yeah, by the way,
I love these euphemisms that Keith uses. Keith says date. Well, that's all the.
That's what it
That's
is.
all the time. Oh man, I'm not feeling good. That's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Officials at a New York zoo say that April the giraffe, who's already had 4 little babies, is pregnant again. Asked why April the giraffe keeps having babies, the zookeeper said it's hard to keep a giraffe from necking.
Oh my goodness.
Does that make any sense to you?
Very clever, Jim.
All right, we're always here at Triad Today. We'll see you next week.